Respected faculty member and my dear participant, on behalf of Gujarat Technology University, Graduate School of Engineering and Technology, I welcome you all in 10th webinar, Expert Talk on Data Visualization with Python Matplotlib, creating static, animated, and interactive visualization, organized by GTUGSAT in association with Vodafone Foundation India. Gujarat Technology University Graduate School of Engineering Technology has started in 2017. It is AICTE approved institute established and managed by GTU. Currently, two PG programs, ME in Cybersecurity and ME in Mobile Communication Network Technology are running at the institute. We are also started the 1 year PG program course in the data science from this year. The vision of this institute is to provide to excellent teaching knowledge and preparing competent manpower in respective specialization. With the aim, we organize this webinar series. I found my immense pleasure to introduce our today's session expert, Mr. Nias Narimukhil, Master Trainer from the Vodafone University Engineering Program uh, under the CSR initiative of Vodafone Intelligence Solution. Niaz having the 8 years of experience in the IT and teaching sector, he has a completed master in computer science from the Calicut University, and his area of interest are the network security, machine learning, data mining, and computational intelligence. Now, without wasting much of time, I would like to welcome our today's session expert, Mr. Niaz sir. Uh, Thank you one and all to join this session. And I would like to say to all the participants then, if you have any queries in this session, please write into the chat or after the session completion, we will upload into our G2GSAT YouTube channel. Thank you one and all. Now, Niaz sir, hand over to you.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, thank you, Marmo Sundar sir. Good afternoon, everyone. So, I will share my screen, and I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, so today we are going to explore about Matplotlib package that's inside the Python library. Okay, so it is very important for you to visualize the contents once you infer some meaning with the help of some data analytic techniques, right? Then we need to use some graphs, pie charts, or plots in order to visualize what you have learned, what you are find that right based on your data analysis stuff. So that is the case. The visualization is very important if you're doing any kind of research purpose, or if you're doing journal, creating your own journal purpose, right? You need to use this graphs for comparison and all, right? So that's the main thing. Today we are going to discuss Matplotlib functions or Matplotlib package that's a library inbuilt user inbuilt for the data visualization thing, and we can able to create a lot of kind of different plots using this package. Okay, so my idea is to explore the basic things with the help of the Matplotlib, and we will cover all the basic scenario that is needed for your data analytics stuff. So as a part of the things, we are doing this session using Jupyter Notebook. I hope all of you. So I prefer all of you to do whatever sessions we are covering as parallel. So if you have any queries, any errors comes, right, you can ask at that moment itself, right? So you can use Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook to perform this operation, to do things parallelly. Okay. So I just using as it's a new Jupyter Notebook in my case. So I'm first of all we need to import our module, import our Matplotlib package. So for that, so matplotlib So we are importing the pyplot inside pyplot module inside our macro.lib. So I'm importing pyplot as a reference variable plt. So this is my first. So okay. So this is my first import statement. So import, you need to import the pyplot. This is actually a selective import. Okay, so in case of macro.lib, a lot of modules are available. Okay, it's a library bundle. Okay, so we are only using this pyplot module for doing our this data visualization step, that is for plotting our graphs. Okay, so I am using a reference variable plt now to refer this functions inside this pyplot module. Okay, so I will show you how to create a so symbol graph, a symbol plot based on pyplot. Okay, so for example, we can directly use plt.plot. Okay. Then we need to pass x and y. For example, I'm using some arrays 1, 2, 3, 4. That is x-axis, and for y-axis, I'm using some other values 5, 6, 7, 8. For this example, okay. So we are going to plot a graph like this. Okay, so what happens is with the help of this plot, we are plotting a graph having x-axis is 1, 2, 3, 4, and y-axis 5, 6, 7, 8. So we will get a plot like this. Okay, so generally we need to use one more statement for plotting. That is, we need to use plt.show. As it is a Jupyter notebook, right? It will automatically works, whenever you type this command, because now we are using a Jupyter notebook. Okay, so if you are not using Jupyter notebook, you're using any kind of IDs, then you need to write after this. You need to enter the show command also. Sorry, plt.show also. So next, this is a simple plot. This is called a simple plot. Okay. So we have provided, this is our x-axis. X-axis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is y-axis. Okay, so corresponding to 1, we have value 5, right? And corresponding to 2, we have value 6. Like that, right? We are plotting a graph. So we are getting a result like this. Yeah. So better idea, we need to create some two separate lists for x and y axis so that it can be easily identified, right? Instead of giving x and y axis like this, we can give x and y separate list. For example, if you want, we can use, for example, 2, 3, 4, 5, some of the values for x, and for y, for example, I am plotting a graph of squares. In case of squares, square of 2 is 4, 9. 16 and 25. Okay, so we are adding these two things here, right? So after that, we can use this plot, right? Plt.plot function, and we can simply pass x comma y. Right? So in order to make the graph plot meaningful, we need to provide a title, and we need to provide what happens in the what's the values inside the x and what is labels, right? We need to provide the x label and y label, right? So as say now, we can add that also here for title. Now to add a title for plot, we need to use plt.title, and we need to provide some title here. So in case of this, we are finding the square. So I'm typing the square of numbers here. Okay, and we have x label and y label, and x is simply numbers and y is the square of the numbers, right? So we need to provide that. We need to use plot plt.x label as numbers, simply numbers, and plt.y label as squares. Okay, so we added the x label and y label here, right? So then we can use show method to show the graph. After entering all this statement and running this code, so you will get a graph like this. Okay, so this is a simple graph or simple plot having, we already provided the labels, x label as numbers, y label as squares, and we provide the title like square of numbers. Well, so here instead of this, it's a line, right? If you want to get only dots, you can also use assign that also. If you want to, you can, if you want, this is replaced by a dot. You can pass this one also dot here instead of this dot. Then you will get only the dots here. Okay, so we are not getting a line here. Instead of, we are just marking the points, which of the points relevant to the x and y scenario. Okay, so that is happening by default. It is like dash, that is it's like line. Okay, so if you want, you can modify that also. Okay, so if you then we will here we need to provide some colors through the graph. We have to provide some colors. We can use different style methods out there in Matplotlib. So one of the style is ggplot. So I am using that style for giving some colors to the lines. Okay. So let's create another program. So I'm using the style function here. Not to use, I'm just importing that style from Matplotlib. So from Matplotlib, import style. Okay. And we are going to use a style called ggplot. That is one of the common kind of style. So style of use ggplot. So once we run this statement, so this means this G here, matplotlib. So from matplotlib, import style, yeah, now it's okay. So on this one, so we are using a style called ggplot, right? So with the help of this style, what we are going to do now, we can do some colors, or we can add some colors. We can do some legend kind of things for the graph. Okay. So I am using the same code here. So I just copy this one. As a matter of fact, we can use two kind of Ys. Okay, for a different. No, we can able to. I just try to plot two graphs in single graph. Okay, two line plots in a single graph. So that we have, for example, we have two Ys are there. So y2 is for squares and y3 is for cubes. You can consider that for two cubes. That is 8, 27, 64, and 125, right? Then, so we have x and two kind of y's. One is for squares and y3 is for cubes. Okay? So these are the quantities we need to plot, right? So for plotting squares, so this comment here, plotting squares. So we are going to plot the squares. We are using plot function. Okay, we need to pass x, and for square we need to pass y2. Right? And if you want to provide some colors, for example, we just want to provide a color green here. So let's use green. And if you want to use labels, we can directly use, instead of label x and y like this, with the help of this ggplot, now we can directly use label here also. Okay, so label equal to squares. For example, in this case squares, right? So there is one more attribute if you want to add, that is line width. If you want to increase the line width is the thickness of the line. Okay, so we can add the line width also here. I'm using line width as 5 here. Okay. So that is for plotting our squares. The same thing we can use for plotting our cubes also with a little modification. So plotting cubes, we can use cube, we can change this color and all. So here we need to use x and y3, and instead of green we can use red colors, and instead of square we can use cubes, right? So we can keep the same language, or we can, if you want, we can change. Right? So as then we need to provide some title. Right? Can do anything, right? Example, demo sample notebook, demo graph. Okay. So, okay. And just click show to show the graph. Okay. So what we've done, right? We created three quantities. One x quantity and two y quantities. One y is for squares of x, another y is for cubes of x. Right? Then we plotting two graphs on the same surface, right? In the same plot, we are going to use two charts, right? So one is for that is one is a green color, another is for red color, right? One is for one line for squares, another line for cubes, right? Okay. So let's run this one. We will get a graph like this. Okay. So okay, okay. So this label actually, if you want to get x and y label, I think we need to use this thing again. Okay, so this label is actually to represent the colors. So one is for square and one is for cube, like that, right? So in order to get effective of that label, we need to use one more function, that is plot.legend. Okay, so I'm using that function also. Then we can run again. Now you can see that we can get squares and cubes here as a legend. So squares represent this green and cubes represent this red color, right? So these are the labels we provide here. For x and y, as same as this, we need to provide. Let's copy this one. So we provide one legend, and after title we can add this as x level is numbers again, and y level is not. We can't use squares because under y we have two lines on, right? So one is for square, another for cube, right? So what we can use now, we can use power of numbers. That kind of things. Power of numbers. So that of powers. So it will be meaningful, right? So yeah. So we will get x as numbers, y as power of numbers, and we will get a title, and we will get a legend like this. And we can provide some colors for the graph, right? So if you want, there is a grid here, right? If you want to provide different colors for the grid also. Okay. Or if you don't want the grid, no, you can remove the grid also. So if you want, so I'll show you, if you want to change the colors of your grid, then you can use the grid. True. True means we need the color. So we need grid, and we can change the color of the grid also. For example, if you want to color this black, so black we are using a letter called K. So different colors have different letters that you can refer. So if you want to use a black color, then you can use K. So green for G, red for R, but black for K. So that is because we are using B for blue color. Okay, color, letter B is using color blue. So now we can see that we have a grid with black colors, right? The grid is visible. If you don't want grid, then you can use false. Yeah. Then we can use grid of false, then the grid is disappeared. So these are some things no, we need to use while creating our simple graph like this, ordinary kind of graph like this. So any questions up to this, guys? If you have any questions, you can ask through the chat, or as it is a meeting, then you can unmute and speak also. All clear? Up to this, we just introduce a simple kind of symbol talk. Any questions up to this? Okay. Okay, then shall I move to next topic? So next kind of graph which is so useful is scattered plot. So scatter plot is mainly used for finding the relation between two variables. If you have some kind of two variables, so uh, every kind of graph need to be kind of plots need to be some kind of situations, right? So in case of scatter plot, actually, if you are given in case of data visualization or data analytics, right? You are getting some kind of data, but you don't know the relation between each factors or each attributes inside the data. So we get a lot of data with different fields. So you need to find if there is any relation occurs, or you need to find if there is anything any relation is that is if there are two or more than, there will be lot of fields will be there, right? For data, right? Fields means features will be there, right? So if there is any features related to each other, that is if the value of one feature increasing, whether the value of other is also increasing, or whether the value if whether these all features are related to same kind of thing, right? In that case, we need to use a scatter kind of plot. Okay. So scatter plot is for example, we have two kinds of data. For example, we have weight in kilograms, okay, and for example, we have weight like this, 75. So I'm adding some random weights, okay, 56, 59, 90, difference, 66, 90, like that. So a weight attribute is there, and we have some height attribute, for example. So this is basically, you need to find if you have some two attributes or more than one attribute, if you want to find some relation between these attributes, right? In that case, we can use this kind of thing. For example, in case of height, for example, height in meters, if the height is in meters, you can say that 1.5, 1.2, or 1.5, 1.8, 1.6, 1.7. So I just provide some random heights. Okay. So this is the height is in meter and the weight is in kg in that scenario. Okay. So we are getting some two attributes like that. Okay. So then we need to plot a scatter plot. For that, plt.scatter. Then we need to pass these two attributes, x and y, is weight and height, right? So weight and height. So this is x, and other one is y. And after we can provide some label. So label equal to we can say weight was. So just provide some label here. Weight was height. Yeah. Okay. And if you want, you can add color also. Color to be red or red or blue. You can do. Okay. So then we can also we get then we can add this x and y label same like this. Okay. So just copy this now, and we can change. So x will be our weights, y will be our heights. Okay. So then if you want, you can add title also. Okay. And just use legend. So you will get a graph like this, a scatter plot kind of graph. Okay, if there are n number of values, now here in this case we have only few values here. If there are n number of values, or if you have n number of y-axis, okay, for example, if you want to find out the relation between this weight with uh, all kind of things, for example, there is height, there is another attribute called BMI, no? Then if you want the relation between them, or if there are n number of attributes over there, no? If you want the relation for these n number of attributes with another attribute weight, so we can add n number of attributes like this. So all x-axis will be weight, and we can add n number of attributes like height here, right? So in that case, we can't use this label height, we need to use some other common things. Then we will get different plots having different colors. So this is for this color is for weight plus height. If you want to have another thing is weight plus BMI or weight plus mass, we can. There will be a lot of doors will be there. Then we can correlate whether these are same, or if we want, we can remove redundant variables also, right? If the height with voice, right? If you're using height and weight, so if we can remove the BMI index, because we can create the BMI index from height and weight. In some cases, we can remove redundant values also. Then that's all we can see with the help of this plot. Both values are same or different based on this kind of thing. So that is basically the scatter plot of things. Okay. There are, so basically this scatter plot, in my opinion, we are if I'm doing some analysis over the data, I'm using basically to find the relation between two variables. If I don't know that, let's say this is a specific relation, so you need to find out the relation or to find the clusters, right? If these points will be same for all the values, right? If there is a cluster forming, right? Then that's all we can visualize with help of this scatter plot. So okay. So next we can go for bar chart, bar graph. Okay. So the bar graph, basically bar graph is for showing some statistics, right? Of, for example, AB's marks. Okay, I will give an example. For example, students have different marks for each student in a class, or marks for average marks for students in a specific division, right? So like that, we can, if you want, we can plot, right? For example, we have divisions. Divisions is one of the array. Okay, so there are divisions like A, B. I'm adding some divisions here. C. It's adding 4 divisions here. Okay. So I'm having 4 divisions here, and each division of class, so having some kind of average marks. So we want to plot this as a bar graph. So marks or average marks. You can use average marks. The marks for each class is, for example, first class is marks is 80, second class is 60, and 55, and third class 90. So I added some average marks for 4 classes. Then you can plot directly bar graph. We have x and y like scenario. So PAQ dot bar. So I have my x-axis is divisions, so divisions, and my y-axis is average marks. Average marks. Then you can add color, right? Color equal to G or green. So then, as same as above, we can use labels, X and Y labels. So, the basic syntax, no, the idea will be same. If you are doing one thing right, then you can easily go for the other. So X label is divisions and Y label for average marks. Right? So after that, we can use show to show the graph. That is, so this is a bar graph. So we are using green color. X will be divisions and Y will be averagements. Okay. So in case of bar graph, if you want to add one more index here, for example, if you want to compare the marks of previous year, like that, you need to add upon the same to the same graph, right? That also we can do, right? For example, we have some, so we have some average mark here, and we have some previous year average marks. For example, this is marks, average marks of year 2020. Let's say. So I'm giving some meaningful way manner to explain this. So this is the average marks of this class division in 2020. So, and if you are to have a previous marks, for example, for 2019, their average mark is different. So, for example, for 2019, the average mark is 95, 40, 60, 70, like that. Okay. If you want to add these two for in the same graph for comparison, then we need to use some of the things. I will write the code and I will explain. Okay. Yes. Okay. This import number also. So now, okay, I just explain the index. No need of number, you can directly use 0, 1, 2, 3. And we have some good. Then this. So this once I done, I will explain. Okay. This one. Okay, fine. Okay. So we are going to use number again. Otherwise, we can't add like that. So actually, what happens is that we are using a number array here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So, or we can use so as suggestion we have four values here, right? So we can use like this, or we can create a range function. I hope all of you do know the basics of numbers. We already covered that one. So with the help of this range function, we can add four, or we can use as I did, no, 0, 1, 2, 3. No? Same thing happens here. We can add the width. Okay, so width is basically how much width we need to move from one point to another. Okay, so here the graph initially the index is starting from 0. Okay, you can see from here, right? Index is starting from 0, then index 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So initial graph start from 0, and that is average marks 2020. The color is blue, and we have a label. And the second graph starting from index plus width. So second will be start from the value of index is 0, then 0 plus width is zero point 0.3, like that. Okay, then we have this x and y label window, and this is our x ticks means. So we need to define the ticks. Ticks means, for example, after, so this is x values division, right? So initially starting with index, right? So then after index, we need to move next index, next tick value, next starting point. So that can be done with therefore this index with by two scenario, and we will get a graph like this. That is actually a comparison one. So one is first case division A of 2020. We will get so we can add legend. Then we will get that scenario also. For example, we can mark this as PLP log legend, and we will get like this also, right? This is blue for average mark 2020, green for average mark 2090, right? So usually for class A, for average mark 2020 is 80, and for class A 2019 it is different. This is 90, right? So different. We can compare these two values. So again, this overlapping can be avoided by increasing the ticks. So, so that is an example of this thing. We can able to plot any kind of number of bar chart in the same manner. Okay. So just show you this can be done like this. So in that case, we need to create this kind of logic. If there are more than one kind of scenario to come from the same graph, right? Then we need to use this kind of width and this kind of logic. No, just convey a logic manner. So this need to be done, right? So you need to use an array, number array, right? Otherwise, we can't perform this direct addition, index plus width addition. Okay, because this index is varies for each value, right? Starting from x values, index is different for each, right? So x is basically created based on this index and this width. So we can change the width value also like this. Sorry, can increase the, okay, we can change the width. So it can be adjusted, you know, you can just walk around to find the best pattern. And just show you one way to do that. Okay. So that is a case of bar chart. We can do the bar chart like this in simple manner. Use the help of the php.bar. If you want to add one or more things in same bar chart, you need to do a logic for that. So that is a kind of logic. No, I just try to repeat here. That is, we need to use an array, number array, and a width. You know, we need to do a logic based on that to plot these two bar chart in the same graph. Okay, so just move to next one. So we have to discuss some more graphs. So due to time constraint, let's move to next one. So histogram. So histogram is needed for to find out the intensity, right? So which of the things more intensity, more no? For example, we have a population like that. So I just create some two values, population, or we can use marks. Okay. Those are marks. So we have different kind of marks will be there, 55, 60, a lot of marks. And just randomly add some marks. Yeah. So these are the marks. Then histogram is if you we create some bins here. So which of the marks getting more? So bins, no, we need to it's like that have different for example different capacity of device, different capacity of uh, things. For example, I will show you. Here we have created a bin from 20 to 30, 20, or okay, we can start from 20, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. You can use hundreds. So we have a bin. Bins means so which of the things will be inside this 20. So it is system will automatically find out the values less than 20. No, will be packed inside this 20 or close to 20 will be there inside this 20 bin, and 30 having the values between 30 to 40 like that, right? In that manner, inside this bin, no, all the marks will be filled up. Okay, so in that manner, if there are a lot of marks having of students, we need to find which of the category having the average having no people having most average marks, right? Which of the category under that most of the people scores around 60. In that manner, right, we can get a histogram kind of scheme. Okay. So for that, we need a lot of values, and only it will be more realistic. And actually, we need to start. We need to include 10 notes because some of the value students will get small values, right? 5, 6. So now we need to add that also. So which one to add a lot of values. Then only it will be more realistic manner. So these are the bins. So we are adding this. So bins we can call as a container, right? So all of the things between 0 and 10 will be inside this bin 0. All of the things between 10 and 20 will be inside the bin 20. In that manner. In that manner, they will find some relation and they will be added inside the bins like this. So I'm using histogram plot. I will show you with help of list. We are going to do a histogram plot. So for that, we have to use marks and we need to use X or Y bins and we need to use type of histogram. So I'm using a bar graph. So it's the type equal to bar and we can add the row width also. So there is a syntax row width equal to, so this can be applied. We can add X and let's copy this. So X label is marks and Y label is uh, number of people. Sorry, okay, number of people. So we can, okay, so that's narrow this thing. Can it use equal? Yeah. Okay, so we'll get a graph like this. Okay, so if you want, we can. So there is no legend will be there, or sorry, like in case you know need of legend, because for legend we need to use a label specific to bin. So in case of this, we don't need a legend. We can add title. So title as sample program. Yeah. We will get a histogram. Like from this, we can see that most of the papers will comes under the range 50 to 60. Right, most of the marks, these are the marks of the people, right? So most of the marks are coming, six number of marks from this set coming under this range, or and 0 to 10 we are getting three numbers between 0 to 10. That is the 6, 4, and 7. There are three numbers will we get between 0 to 10, and 10 to 20 there is nothing is there. So no values is there between 10 to 20, and from 20 to 30 like that, right? Like that, we are creating a histogram. So it will falls, this marks will falls in this kind of kind the containers or bins, right? So we will get a number of uh, people or number of marks falling in this kind of bin. So this marks will be related to some of the people, right? So number of people, number of students getting this kind of marks. So I just put an example here for the purpose. So it can be anything, right? To find out the intensity of colors, right? We can use histogram graph, right, to get the intensity of each of the colors, right, commonly used. If there are no, to get the graph. Or no, you can use any kind of thing, any kind of this kind of situation, right? You can use histogram. Okay, so each graph have different purpose. So I just tell you the purpose. So in which cases we are using, right? So I just show you one example. So we can use another purpose for population, or number of population or age regarding thing, right? Or like that also. Which of the population have this kind of age, right? So there are a lot of use case applications will be there. You can use this histogram scenario. So next one is next kind of chart is pie chart. So pie chart is, as all of you know, the concept of pie chart is basically is to get the percentage value like that, right? If there are a lot of things, for example, I will show you one example. So I will create some cities here. Okay, we can go for cities and population. Okay, so for cities, we have different cities: Mumbai, Delhi. For example, just choose Kolkata and three cities, for example. Can you show Kerala? And then we can add the another thing is population. We can add population like population equal to some random numbers. So I'm using more population Delhi and less population, more population Mumbai, less population Delhi. No, no, starting with, let's see. So now just we have two attributes. One is for city and we have the population of each city, right? Then we can give colors for each thing for to make this uh, chart more visually as visually good. We need to do some color stuff also. You can red. Let's use red. red, green, yellow. Okay. We have the colors. Then we can use this. Directly we have. Okay, we can use this. We need to plot this graph. PLP dot 5. Okay. Then we need to pass x-axis. So I just use population, comma. Which of the things we need to highlight? That we need to pass. We need to highlight the population, and our labels are cities. Cities are our labels. Okay. So labels are cities. So labels equal to, we can directly pass cities. Those cities is another list, and we can pass the colors. Colors equal to colors. So colors will provide specific colors for each, right? So then we can add some title as Python, and we can show the chart. We will get a chart like this. So Mumbai, Kerala, Kolkata, Delhi. So from this, we are not getting any information. No? We are getting the space based on this, based on the population, right? So from this, we can say that Mumbai and Kerala have some kind of similar kind of population. So just reduce some population of Kerala to get increase some population here. Some we can get Delhi has less population, Mumbai with more population, Kerala is second most population, right? In that manner, we will get that pie chart. So if we want to get the percentage out of this, then we can add one of the things, because it is good to know the percentage, right? Percentage means getting now divided by everything. Now we are finding the percentage of each. Mumbai getting how much percentage like that. Okay. So if you want to use get the percentage, now we can add that also here. For that, we can use auto PCT. It's another attribute for percentage. So auto PCT, then we go for show the percentage 0.1f, the 0.2f. We are showing the percentage as floating point. We need two decimal places, that is 2f. That means floating point need two decimal places, that is after point we are using 2. Okay. Then we can use this. If you want, you can use a percentage symbol also, right? After that. So this is the thing. We need to provide inside this percentage, in which format you need to show the percentage. Okay. So after running this, you can see this percentage set. That is, Mumbai has 41.44 percentage population. Now we are taking all from all population, 41.44 population. That is, we are using this two floating point decimal place. If you want only one decimal place, you can use one here. Then it is changed to one decimal places, like this. Or if you want to, there is one more thing. In some cases, we need to we need to use to get this item explode from our entire pie chart. So there is one more function that may be useful for, sorry, one more attribute, that is explode. Explode equal to, in case we need to explode Mumbai, right? So 0.1. So explode means so X. This is X. This is for Mumbai. If you know that Mumbai getting more population, so we need to highlight this Mumbai in our visually in our graph, right? In our pie chart to get a visually aesthetic scenario, right? So that we need to use this 0.1. So 0.1 is this much distance it will be departed from other graphs. Okay, so we are giving some distance only for this point Mumbai here. So first value is for Mumbai, right? This is all Mumbai, right? So this is for Mumbai itself. So we will get it will be detached from the graph. Like we can get a 3D visualization, thing like that. So if you want to increase, you can use 0.2. Now it will increase based on the points you add. So this is now after getting a result, we can need to show our result to be get highlighted manner. Then we can use this explode situation. Okay. So if to get the 3D effect kind of thing, we can use a shadow attribute, and it will provide some shadow here. Shadow equal to true. Then it will add some shadow. Yeah, we are getting a shadow outline here, right? So to get a 3D view, we can use this shadow. So there are different attributes. These are most commonly used things to over this Python. Okay. So also there are if you want to start, so here the starting graph is for example, if you consider this x-axis, right? So this is our 0 point, right? Okay, so if we are starting this first, starting from anti-clockwise direction, the pie chart is starting from anti-clockwise, right? So from 0, we are plotting initially Mumbai here, right? After Mumbai, we are plotting Delhi, and after Delhi, we are plotting Kolkata, like that, right? So if you want to change the angle, also there are attributes, right? If you there are different kinds of attributes are available. You can go through this. So basic idea of this structure is just to understand the purpose. You can do like that, do different stuff like that. Okay. If you want to change the angle, it is possible to change the angle also. Okay, that you can just go by yourself and find out how to change the angle. Okay. And last but not, I'll show you another kind of graph that is. So we discuss about this pie chart. I hope all of you do understood, and I will show you another graph also that will be useful for some kind of scenario, that is blocks plot. Okay, blocks plot is mainly used to identify the outliers in our data set. If there are a lot of data available, then if you find out the odd one out, right? Or we need to know the mean of that value, like that, right? So that we can use this kind of box plot. For box plot, for example, I just use ages attribute. So I need to use a number array for doing operation of box plot, because by creating a box plot, in internal of structure of box plot condition kind of algorithm, we will finding mean, right? Then we finding this percentile calculation, like that, to get idea about the data set. Okay. So the data set or need to be represented must as a number arrays in order to work this thing. Okay. For example, let's put some ages. So people are just adding some ages for 50, 55, 60, 62, 65, 70, like that. Then I just put some odd ages, 105. So this is one outliner we can say, right, from this data set. And all of the data will be in range of this. Okay, so we can just go for the kt.box plot, and we can show the plot. kt. Okay, maybe a mistake here. Sorry, I just mixed with this. Right? Our variable is ages, right? I need to pass ages. I accidentally placed I. Yes, now we will get the box plot, right? So from this box plot, we can see that one value is outlined, no, apart from this entire box. So this is an outliner, right? So some cases we need to avoid the outliners from the data set to get the accurate results. So outliner may be due to any bug or any errors or any while collecting the data, right? So if you are collecting data from different sources, we will get some data that do doesn't process any information, and that too, if it is processing information, that too incorrect information. So we need to remove that kind of outliners, or some situation we need to include all kind of outliners also. So that is again depending upon our problem or depending upon scenario. Okay, in this case we can get outliner value as this point, only one point is considered as outliner here, and this is our box plot, and we will get a blue line here. This blue line is a median of this entire box plot, and this is the percentile value, and this one is 25 percentile, and this one is 75 percentile, the two end of this box. The percentile calculated over this data set. So this is 60 is the 25 percentile of entire value, and this one I suppose 72 like that. Right? That is 75 percentile of the entire value. Like that. Okay, and our range is between 50 to common range is between 50 to 78, and this 105 is an outliner, right? So that range is defined as with this thing, that is starting from 50 and our ending from 78. So so this box represent the percentile and mean of these values, that is from 50 to 78. So they are considering that values only, and the outline is not considered, and outline can be marked outside the box. Okay, so that is kind of box things. So in some cases we need to use this box plot to find the outliner or no, any other kind of data in your data set. Okay, so I just explained basic plots that are available inside the matplotlib. So any questions regarding this one? So if you have any questions for this session, you can ask. So I just show you some of the manner, some of the way we can use the plots. So just briefly go through each kind of plots. Okay. So because of the time frame, you have to set like that. So you can dig a digger to find more information based on this. So I hope all of you do understand. If any have any question, you can ask.
Any participant have any question can write in the chat box. You can unmute your mic and
Yeah. Yes. Any questions, guys? So we will share. I will share this matplot in this PyJotter notebook with Sundar sir, and he will share with you. Okay. So we will discuss about the line plot, scatter plot, bar chart, or histogram, pie chart, and box plot. So we discuss 6 kind of plots inside this matplot library. Any questions? So, so if there is no questions, then we can conclude today's session. Thank you for joining with us. Over to Madam, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
I'd like also thank to all the participants who joined this session. Okay, and thank you to Niyaz sir for explaining the data visualizations with the Python, MATLAB, pilot plot, creating staging, animating, and visualization with practical demonstration. So thank you, Niyaz sir, once again. I also thanks to all the participants for your active participations. We will upload the recorded session in our YouTube channel. So if any participant want to check it again, so you can check the recorded session, and we will continue the session series. Okay, so if any participant have any query, so in next upcoming session, you can ask to the expert, sir. Okay. So once again, thank you to all the participants. We will meet soon in the next session. Thank you to all.